Hello and welcome to my review of the Ordo Xenos Lord Inquisitor Kyria Draxus. This model will set you back £20 and it's one of the newest plastic Inquisitors that Games Workshop have produced in a long time. I think the last Inquisitor that they made a model of was Eisenhorn in Finecast, and that was to coincide with Dan Abnett's fourth Eisenhorn book. Well, it was a collection of stories and then a final fourth book way back in 2018. So there's a little bit of a celebration because I myself would love to see Imperial Agents and more Inquisitors done in plastic, because that range, it's pretty old now. I'd say it's one of the most neglected ranges. It's more neglected than Eldar, because at least Eldar have had newer plastic models and different aspect warriors, albeit in sort of Finecast. But still, I'd like to see more Imperial Agents created in plastic. What we'll do is we'll have a closer look at the model itself, look at all the detail and things. There are no spare parts, so I don't need to go through that with you. There are no spare parts, so we'll go straight onto the size comparisons, and then we'll go through her rules and find out, you know, whether she is decent or not. The rules do come in the little box set there, and that's quite nice that it's £20 but it comes in a box. Sometimes £20 models don't come in a box and it's just clamshell packs. I think she deserved a box. She's bundled with those rules, and I'm pleased Games Workshop did put the rules in there, because it means you don't necessarily have to purchase the £25 Psychic Awakening Pariah book, which is where I will be drawing the rules from, but they are exactly the same as what you get in the pack for her, which is brilliant. Of course, the flip side of that is that Pariah also has the rules for all of the other Inquisitors available, such as Kotiaz and Eisenhorn. I think it's the first time Eisenhorn's rules have been in an actual book, as opposed to like a White Dwarf or just when you purchased the model separately. So let's have a look at her herself. She's got some chunky armour. She's a bit tricky to put together, like the joins of the skull. I still need to like get in there and file them down a bit. Be careful with the dragon's feet, because there's a part on the power fist there that's a little bit up, and you may think that that's just a bit of flash or something off of the sprue, because it's kind of connected near there. So be careful not to completely wipe that off, because then the foot won't sit on it properly. Yeah, interesting model, interesting rounded head there. Yeah, she's an odd one. She really is. She doesn't have any hair at all. She's completely skinhead Inquisitor. The armour is very ornate. I've never seen anything like it. It's a cross between Eldar armour and Space Marine armour, like power armour. She's got like a fancy gorget there. She's got the shoulder pauldrons, some kind of integrated shoulder pauldrons. But yeah, thick legs, thick chunky legs, leg armour. And this dirge song or dirge singer, shuriken rifle, and a really ornate power plant that does stick out, you know, quite far back on the model at a bit of an angle. But it's like nothing I've ever seen before. All of these parts are nothing I've ever seen before. Even the power fist is very ornate, and quite a small power fist actually, you know, as power fists go. She's got a little grenade there too. But yeah, if you want to have a look at the detail of her, face, that's what she looks like. I'm yet to sort of smooth her head. But she's got the Aquila there on her brow that's kind of nailed in. She's got a couple of things nailed in around the side, and a little tooth, nice little bit of detail, tooth earring thing, or tooth stud, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, lovely looking model. Yeah, so quite an exotic model. I mean, it's pretty much everything you kind of would wish for in a Ordo Xenos Inquisitor. I mean, I think they've done a fantastic job just capturing it, really. Much like they capture the other Inquisitors with like the demon hammers, you know, or the heretical one, or the Hereticus Inquisitors with the witches' hats and the crossbows. But yeah, Games Workshop are doing a really good job with capturing the feel. And it's ironic that an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor has, you know, Xeno weaponry or Xeno armor, or even like an alien on a perched on her arm. But I think there's humour in that hypocrisy. I think is brilliant. I like that they've done that. Okay, there's no spare parts, as I said, so let's just do some size comparisons. I've got, oh my lord, I've got Holy Terror's worth of Inquisitors right here. So we've got Eisenhorn, we've got this old metal one. Oh, it made a bit of a noise. Look at the size of that base, it's huge, isn't it? And then we've got Greyfax, and we've got Kotiaz. So we've got a nice ensemble. Yes, I am missing Karamazov, I think his name is, and a Inquisitor and Terminator armor. I think you can get Inquisitor Locke from Forge World, and Inquisitor Lord Hector Rex looks to be in Terminator armor. I wouldn't really call that power armor. It looks very sort of Terminator-esque, but he will set you about £38, and yeah, Inquisitor Solomon Locke is £25. So if you want a couple of other Inquisitors which have an awful lot of detail and they have their own little retinues, and you want to build up like an Imperial Agent kind of army and use them as 40k models like just normal Inquisitors, knock your socks off. There's a nice little selection of those two on Forge World, but there you go. Just to fill the gap before we get any plastic Imperial Agents, which could be, you know, a number of years away. Who knows? Maybe you're watching this video because they've released some plastic Inquisitors. But anyway, we've got Kotiaz, which has been around for 20 years or so, actually probably more. Still a fantastic model when he came out, but compared to Draxus is similar height. They've definitely got the same haircut. I think Draxus is a little bit bigger, and she's not even standing upright. She's sort of moving forward, isn't she? But I like that. He's sort of like How to Train Your Dragon, kind of giving Kotiaz a tip, or maybe he's giving her a tip. Pretty cool that they've got two kind of familiars, I want to say, on the left arms. And they've got unique weapons to their, I want to say order, but Draxus is, you know, I don't know whether you get many Xenos Inquisitors with alien weaponry, but who knows? I mean, I haven't read that many Inquisitor novels to know about that. But then you've got just a standard one, which I think is a mini one really. He's a little bit shorter than her. And then you've got Eisenhorn, who is on a little bit of a scenic base there. So if we bring him down a peg, he is actually taller, which is really cool, that he's still a bit taller than her. But, you know, and he's not in any power armor at all. He's just got his normal, I want to say like flak armor, but yeah, he's got his rod there. But no blade. That really kind of sucks. I guess this is before he gets his saber. But yeah, maybe they will do another model of him after his adventures. But this is young Eisenhorn. Then you've got Inquisitor Greyfax, which is a little bit taller, but then again she is stood upright. She's a wisp though compared to the thick Draxus. She's very thin. Loads of detail on her though. Still, you know, not to be missed. There's loads of intricate little details. She's got a saber or something, as well as a Condemner bolt gun and a witch's hat thing with a candle on it, and this power plant, which is very steampunk-esque with these exhaust pipes coming out the side of it. Both fantastic models, but yeah, they clearly show the differences between two Inquisition Ordos. So there you go. Hope that size comparison has helped with a number of Inquisitors. Not many channels where you'd get that comparison. Finally, let's just do a few size comparisons with models that you may well be familiar with. So we've got the Primaris on the right, a Legacy Marine on the left, and then Marbo in the front. She is, yeah, I'd say a bit bigger than Marbo, but she is in power armor. Compared to a standard Space Marine, she is almost the same height. Almost. And then a Primaris, yeah, it's clearly a fair bit bigger than her. which is to be expected. So her size actually measures up, I'd say, with the rest of the ranges. Definitely measures up with the other Inquisitors, but possibly not the older metal ones. Okay, and now you've reached my part of the review where I will go through all of her rules. As I said at the start of the video, the box set includes her rules, but you can also find them in book 9 of the Psychic Awakening series called Pariah. She's accompanied by all of the other Inquisitors' rules. There's a whole Agents of the Inquisition kind of mini codex index thing going on in that book. So if you're slightly interested in and you want to know some backstory, she does feature quite prominently in the start of the book in the lore side of things. So if you want to read more about her and her place in the Imperium and what she's doing with Necrons, then by all means get the book, because that will flesh her character out even more. So she is an HQ choice. She's a power points cost of 4, and she's a points cost of 80, and that includes her Wargear. So quite cheap really, you know, sub 100 points for an HQ choice. That's a character, name character, you know. So her stat line reads: movement of 6 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness are both 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 3+. Lord Inquisitor Kyria Draxus is a single model equipped with Dirge Singer, Power Fist, Dirge Singer, and a Power Fist. You can only include one of this model in your army. It would have been nice if she did have an ornate melee weapon, I guess, rather than just a standard off-the-shelf Power Fist, because they are 2 a penny in the 41st millennium, I guess. So having her with a rapier or some kind of exotic sounding Power Fist, or a Catan face sword, I don't know, just something, you know, alien tech, that would be great, but not the case in this sense. Now, Dirge Singer. It's a range 18-inch, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, and a damage of 2. And when resolving an attack made with this weapon on a wound roll of 6+, this weapon has an armor penetration characteristic of -3 for that attack. Pretty decent. But super, how does her Dirge Singer, which is basically a shuriken catapult, compare to an Eldari, or Eldar's shuriken catapult? Well, Super Saiyan is here to bestow this knowledge upon you. An Eldar shuriken catapult is only a range of 12 inches, so it's already longer range at 18, and it still has the same number of shots, same strength, same AP, but the Dirge Singer has better damage, but it also has the same ability where you make a wound roll of a 6 and the hit is resolved with an AP of -3. So the 2 benefits you're getting with this Dirge Singer is its longer range, and it's a damage of 2 instead of 1. Everything else is the same as the normal shuriken catapult, and I think that's quite a nice trade-off. You know, you've essentially there got a character with a effective range of 24 inches, with a weapon that will get 2 shots, although it's only ballistic skill 3+, but it has a potential of scoring the AP -3, which I think is pretty decent. And the Power Fist, it works the same as everybody else's Power Fist. It doubles the user's strength, so unfortunately that would be 6. The AP is -3 though, and the damage is D3. However, when resolving an attack made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And I kind of think that's why Games Workshop gave her a weapon skill of 2+, to kind of negate that fact. To negate the fact that you're going to have to subtract 1 from the hit roll, although she is getting 4 attacks with it. Abilities: Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry. You may not have heard of those before, so I will just touch upon them if you haven't got the book, because they're not explained in her little rule sheet in the box that she comes with. So, Authority of the Inquisition essentially means that infantry units with this ability can embark aboard any Imperium transport model, even if that model normally only permits models with other faction keywords to do so. All other restrictions apply normally, and Inquisitor Terminator models can only embark aboard transports that specifically allow Terminator models to do so. So, does this mean she's allowed in a Primaris Repulsor? I'd say yes. And the other ability, Quarry, units with the Ordo Malleus, Hereticus, Xenos, or Minoris keyword gain the respective ability below. So she is an Ordo Xenos. So this means that when resolving an attack made by a model in this unit against a unit that is not Chaos, Imperium, or unaligned, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the key things that you need to remember. That she can re-roll that weapon. She can re-roll that 3+, and she can re-roll the, whatever toughness she's going up against to wound. Refractor Field. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save. So already that's one up from Illuminor Serras. He doesn't have an invulnerable save, but she gets the Refractor Field save of a 5+. Unquestionable Wisdom. Friendly Imperium units can use this model's leadership characteristic instead of their own whilst they are within 6 inches of this model. It's alright. Her leadership is only 9. She's not a Greyfax, a Karamazov, a Kotiaz, or an Eisenhorn. She's got the same leadership as just a normal Inquisitor. Would have been nice if it was a leadership of 10. I mean, the ability is called Unquestionable Wisdom. Anyway, the next ability, Shang. When this model manifests the Smite psychic power, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this model to be affected instead of the closest enemy unit. That's pretty decent. For some reason, this dragon thing, Shang, you can use a Smite enemy unit within 18 inches and doesn't have to be the closest one. So that's great, because she is a Psyker. And finally, Paralysis Grenades. At the start of the fight phase, if this model made a charge move this turn, you can select one enemy unit that is within 1 inches of this model. Until the end of that phase, that enemy unit cannot be selected to fight until all other eligible units have done so. If that unit has an ability that allows it to fight first in the fight phase, it instead fights as if it did not have this ability. If both players have units that cannot fight until all of the units have done so, then alternate choosing which of those units to fight with, starting with the player whose turn it is taking place. That's quite nice, having these paralysis grenades. It stops your enemy unit from fighting until everybody else has had their go. Quite nice. Psyker. This model can attempt to manifest one psychic power in your psychic phase and attempt to deny one psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. She knows Smite and one psychic power from the Telethesia discipline. We'll go through those, fear not, because you might be unfamiliar with them or you might not have access to them. Keywords: Imperium, Inquisition, Ordo Xenos, Character, Infantry, Psyker, Inquisitor, Agent of the Imperium, Kyria Draxus. So the Telethesia discipline is very similar to other psychic disciplines in which you can either roll a d6 and generate psychic powers, or you can pick one. If you pick one though, you can pick one out of the 3 that's specific to that Ordo. You've got an Ordo Hereticus one, an Ordo Xenos, and an Ordo Malleus. Let's just talk about the Ordo Xenos, which is who she's aligned with. This psychic power is called Psychic Veil. Has a warp charge value of 5, and if manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, friendly Ordo Xenos units within 6 inches of this psychic can only be selected as the target of attacks if they are the closest visible enemy unit, and can only be selected as the target of charges if they are within 6 inches of the charging unit. That's quite nice. It stops other psychers from sort of picking her out. The main 6 Telethesia psychic powers then. Terrify. Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this psyker until the start of your next psychic phase. Subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models in that unit, and that unit cannot fire Overwatch. That's quite nice. Psychic Fortitude. Has a warp charge value of 4. If manifested, select one friendly Imperium unit within 12 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when a morale test is taken for that unit, do not roll the dice. It is automatically passed. Brilliant. Dominate. Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy model within 12 inches of this psyker that is not a vehicle and roll 3d6. If the total is equal to or greater than that enemy model's leadership characteristic, that enemy model can immediately shoot with one weapon as if it were your shooting phase, or make one attack as if it were the fight phase. In either case, treat that enemy model as if it were a separate unit that is part of your army while shooting or making that close combat attack. That's pretty good. Mental Interrogation. Has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy character model within 12 inches of and visible to this psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when resolving an attack made by that enemy model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If your army is Battleforged, roll 3d6. If the result is equal to or greater than that enemy model's leadership characteristic, you gain 1 command point. Fantastic. Psychic Pursuit. has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy character unit that only contains models with a wounds characteristic of less than 10 and is within 18 inches of and visible to this psyker. Then select one friendly Ordo infantry unit within 6 inches of this psyker. Until the end of your next shooting phase, that Ordo infantry unit can target that character unit even if it is not the closest unit. That could be pretty decent. But it's all quite close range so far. Castigation. It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of and visible to this psyker and roll a 3d6. If the total exceeds the lowest leadership characteristic in that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's quite nice, and if you're going for like a big offensive rather than a buffing army, or using her as a, obviously you've got smite, and then using castigation again, she's then got this 18-inch d3 mortal wound psychic power. So pretty strong character. I like the fact that she's a psyker. I mean, obviously most of the Inquisitors are psykers, except for Karamazov, but still, I think she's a strong addition to the Inquisition, if I want to say that, but to the Inquisitor lineup and models and units. We needed an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor, we really did. Yes, we got Eisenhorn a couple of years ago. Yes, we've got Greyfax and Karamazov being Hereticus Inquisitors, and we've got Kotias being a Malleus. I guess we could do with another Malleus Inquisitor. Personally, I'd like to see many more Inquisitors that have specialty within their Ordo. So you have an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor that specialises with Tau. I mean, of course, specialises with all the Xenos races, but specifically Tau. That would be really cool to see an Inquisitor that has maybe modified a pulse rifle, or has a little drone, or I don't know, something like that. That would be cool. I'd really like to see some kind of weird Ordo Xenos Tyrannid Inquisitor. That would be amazing. And whether that one would be a Psyker too. But I'd also like to see more Hereticus Inquisitors and Malleus ones as well. And one of the most famous Inquisitors of them all as well, an old friend of Eisenhorn, would be Ravener. I'd love to see a Ravener model floating about in his tank. That'd be so cool with their entourages. But please do put your thoughts and opinions down below about Inquisitors, and which Inquisitor you would like to see in plastic miniature form, or even if Forge World did a couple of models of them. I think their model range is very underrepresented at the moment. Anyway, that's the end of the review. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.